Hey everybody, welcome back to another show in tech. I'm Devin, this is Mike.
So today we're going to be going over a couple cool things. I am going to be going over a docking station for hard drives and SSDs. And Devin, looks like you're going to be going over possibly some video sort of stuff today.
Yeah. I've got a nice looking camera here. I'm not going to go into the camera, but I'm going to use it as kind of my talking piece for sure.
Cool, cool.
All right, so we're just going to try to do a nice, short, quick podcast today. Nothing too crazy. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Actually, what I brought this in to talk about is when you're doing streaming or you're making a video or something, kind of similar to what we're doing right now, just like a VOD or something like that.
Right, right.
You got a couple things that are like really, really important. Sound, content,
Absolutely.
in the video.
Yep.
And I actually, in my opinion, I put them in importance in that order. Your sound is the absolute, number one thing.
Absolutely.
Your content is number two, and your video is number three. Because you don't have to have the best video quality.
That's true. Like
as long as somebody can hear you.
Right. I can't tell you how many times, and experiencing this myself, and when me and another friend were trying to do some build videos for PC build stuff. We had some really good video and we had really good content, but there was no way I was going to sign off on uploading that content because of the terrible audio we had.
Right.
So I mean, audio and video editing and stuff like that, audio is a pretty key factor. There's a lot of people get turned off by terrible audio.
Oh, exactly. So, like, if you're just watching the video and you're like, it's a little fuzzy, but you can hear what they're going on about and you can get the gist of what the content's going on about, you're more likely to kind of keep watching it and tuning in because you can hear it just fine.
Yeah.
And that's feedback you can leave, and that's something more they can improve on as well. I mean, any of those things you can actually improve on.
Right.
But they're more likely to hang around with that better audio.
Right.
But video is still an important thing. I mean, it's on that, top 3 list. And there's a lot of ways, to get decent video. Like the video we're shooting now, I'm shooting it off of my cell phone. We're using my Pixel 5 at the moment. Just so we needed to get into it cheap.
Not a bad little device.
It's something I had in my pocket, and it's shooting 4K 30, and we're editing it down to 1080p. Shooting it at that 4K gives you a little wiggle room.
Yeah,
because you can do some cropping or anything like that. You get that extra detail. Even if you're not going to use a 4K footage.
Yeah,
as your upload. But some different ways to actually get some decent video. Is to, like that capture card that I showed off last week. If you've got a camera laying around and it's got like an HDMI output on it, that is the perfect thing to do. Because, a lot of people have cameras around.
Yeah.
Especially, if you're a family kind of, guy or gal or something.
For those family photos,
exactly.
Do some family video.
There's a really good chance that camera you have has an HDMI out port on it that you can just plug straight into a capture card and get a video feed into your computer.
Right. Yeah.
This is a relatively newer camera. We actually just bought this for my wife as an upgrade. This is a Sony A7 III. This is a excellent,
pretty
camera.
Good one.
This is a very excellent camera, and I'm hoping that maybe we can start using this to actually shoot our video instead of using my phone.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty good. That's definitely not your standard family photo type of camera, but
right. But I'm just using this as my showpiece here. It's got a lot of features on it that you can still find even on like a $80 or $100 point and shoot camera.
Right.
A lot of the times, like if you open up the little side bay, I think this one's on the other side. You'll have your SD cards and it'll have like a charging port, on the cheaper cameras, right there. And then like I was looking at like a really old point and shoot camera we had, there was an HDMI out port right there.
Man.
So I believe it's on this side on this particular camera. Yeah, here it is. I believe it's behind this door here. Yep, right here.
Sure enough.
Just got a plug. This one is a micro HDMI. I think the one on my wife's old Nikon D3100. It's a mini HDMI.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
mean that was a camera from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean it only shoots at 10 not even 1080p. It shoots at the video at 720. But I mean 720, that's still a high definition,
Yeah, especially
video.
if you're doing just, small stuff like YouTube videos, vlogging, podcasting that you want to throw some video in on.
Right. It'll get you started.
Yeah.
And that'll be a good quality video. Because, it's not just a standard old little, pardon me, definition video feed. It's still good feed.
Yeah.
You're going to get a really good, clear picture out of it. And it's just, something you can work with. And, even if you got to use a phone, like I said, we're using a phone. And I think the videos have looked pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, as far as video-wise, it's definitely got that clean, clear, crisp video picture to it.
Right. And
Which,
I've done,
a lot of that goes into what we were talking about last week, too, where phones have made quite a bit of leap into,
Exactly.
The quality of picture and video that they can take now, so...
Right. So, that's just an easy way just to, do a quick, upgrade to your stream or to your, YouTube videos that you're working on. Because like I said, a lot of people have, an old cam laying around, pick it up, look around, see if one of those ports on it is a, micro or mini HDMI out on it. And if that's the case, you can use that as a webcam. And, speaking of webcams, I mean, they make pretty decent webcams. There's a few.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Because like I said, there's only really a few good ones.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of them, a lot more geared towards like the office space these days. Used to be, where it was kind of the newer thing where you could use it for streaming and stuff like that back in the old, 720 days and before that 480 days. But a lot of them are geared towards office space now for, Zoom meetings and Zoom calls and teleconferencing sort of stuff. So
Right. And, I think that's just a, great little tidbit, to throw out there that, you may have a camera laying around and you may not even know that it has, an HDMI out on it that you can use.
kind of a hidden gem in the dirt there.
Exactly. And like I said, my wife's other camera, it was, a 10-year-old D3100 and it had it. So, I mean, that's an easy upgrade to your video quality.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even if it's not the highest, a lot of cameras like this, if you have a good lens, like even the starter lenses are actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yes, some of the aftermarket lenses or whatnot come with that you can pick up for it or probably might be better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the lens makes a big difference. It ain't always just the resolution.
True.
So, I just thought that was a great little thing I wanted to bring in, kind of throw that talking point out there. Give some people out there, other ideas. They're starting off like us.
Right. Absolutely.
Like I said, I mean, we're starting off on my cell phone. Hopefully we can upgrade our video feed to something more like this here very, very shortly.
Yeah.
And, work on just improving each of those aspects to our videos.
And the cool thing I saw the other day, going back into like, the phones people are using for, traveling vlogs and stuff now, because phones have become so much more advanced. Even, not with a rig like this, they make now, going into the audio side of it, they make now attachable mics that you can plug in the phones or, older cameras and newer cameras and stuff. So that way, let's say you don't necessarily have a setup like this, but you were using your phone to stream or you were using an older camera to stream. You can go grab one of those mics and plug into it. Get you a little bit of audio while you're streaming.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean and that's a 2-for-1 kind of upgrade right there.
Absolutely.
If you're using a crappy webcam, but you've got a really nice phone in your pocket, get your phone out, start using that to record. Plug in an external mic to it, like you said. I mean, that's just a quick and easy upgrade to improve your video quality of what you're working on your content.
For sure. Yeah.
So, but that's what I had. Just something quick, just nice, quick, easy topic today. When we throw it over to you, Mike.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to be going over today is hard drive and SSD docking stations. Now, it's funny because when I brought this in, me and Devin were kind of talking back and forth, and with photographers and streamers and video editors, these things are super, super popular. because when you start shooting like that 4K video, and even just 1080K or 1080p, if you're shooting a lot of video, you're getting a lot of content, it's going to take up a lot of space. And so one of the main things that they and other people in other areas like to use is a docking station. So what you can do with the docking station is it plugs right into your computer. There's no software that goes along with it. And you just plug, your secondary SSD, your hard drive into it that you want to store extra video that you're like, well, I don't know if I want to use that yet. Maybe I want to come back later and re-edit some other stuff in. And you can get it off of your main hard drive so it's not taking up a bunch of space and bogging your space down on your hard drive, and put it on, another one.
Right. So essentially, this is just going to pick up almost like a thumb drive. You just plug it into
Yeah,
a
exactly.
USB port and
exactly.
it just kind of
Except
shows up.
for it's geared towards hard drives and SSDs.
Right.
So that way, you can get some of the higher space, like, if you're using an older hard drive. And, it's not only geared towards photo editing and stuff like that. If you have, say, an older hard drive that's like, failed, per se, like, let's say your Windows file gets corrupted or something, and you can't get into that thing. This has happened to me recently.
I was about to say, you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, I am definitely speaking from experience. So what you can do is, like, if you had a Windows file that got corrupted or something, and you have a lot of information, like video editing files or family pictures, stuff like that, don't always think, that you can't do anything about it. What you can do is you can get one of these docking stations, and you can plug it in there. Take it to another computer, like a laptop or something, anybody who wants to let you use their computer. You can plug it in there and plug the hard drive that's failed on there, or SSD that's failed on there. And then you can get all of that information off of it onto the new hard drive until you get your Windows running again. And then bring it back, put it back onto the new hard drive, and take it back and plug it back into your system.
Okay, so essentially, it just ends up being like a more flexible external hard drive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Instead of just having a drive that, you can plug in, it's a dock, you can have multiple drives. You can put, like this one is a 2-bay drive. So, you can put 2 drives in here.
Exactly.
Is this hot swappable? Can you just, while it's plugged in, just pull the drive out and put it in?
Yes, absolutely. It will not damage the drive in any way. Completely hot swappable. So like I was doing that the other day, right? I plugged my new 4 terabyte SSD that I ordered, which I'm stoked about.
Kind of jealous, I'm not going to lie. I was looking at them recently, and I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah, it's, we had a little extra. I decided I want to splurge and get that big old 4 terabyte for my humongous Steam library. And I'm not kidding about that.
He's not kidding.
So anyway, because I have such a huge Steam library, I decided to splurge and get a 4 terabyte. And so what I did was I plugged the new 4 terabyte in, and I plugged the 500 gig Windows system in that had the information I wanted to get off of it. Put it on the new 4 terabyte. Like I said, hot swappable. I just pulled it out. It's not going to damage the hard drive at all. Put the 2 terabyte in that holds like all my other games and everything that's not Steam oriented, and some other information. Moved all of that information and files that I had gotten off the 500 from the 4 terabyte to the 2 terabyte. Unplugged it, plugged it right back into the system, and started going. Completely hot swappable. You don't have to worry about, a file getting corrupted or information getting corrupted because you unplug them. So it's pretty cool.
Right. As long as it's not writing something to it right that second.
Right, yeah. Of course, you don't ever want to unplug anything while it's writing. That's why we have so many troubles with, people who have like PlayStation 4s in the middle of an update and it gets unplugged.
Right.
And then you have to do a complete data what do you call it?
Database rebuild.
Database
and
rebuild,
like that,
and get another update, and yeah.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to unplug anything while data's writing to it. That can definitely cause malfunctions and problems.
That was 9 times out of 10 why your thumb drive files were corrupted, more than
Fact.
likely.
100% fact.
More than likely.
So, now as far as, if you're looking at this and some people are like, oh, well, that'd be a really cool, extra like storage solution. Like I've run out of drives on like my server, right?
Right.
Now, the only problem that you run into here, at least until maybe later, where they start to move into USB-C type format, with USB 3.0, it's definitely not as fast as the SATA 6 gigabyte cables. So if you want to move some information over to them, absolutely. But if you're actually going to be trying to do, storage solutions where stuff's actively getting written to it on a daily basis, this definitely isn't the way to go. Now, what you can do with that is, what we were talking about earlier. If you've got information that you're like, okay, we've got all this old information, we still need to store it, but I just want to get it off my server. Plug this bad boy in, move all that stuff over to another external, or another backup drive to get all that information off there. You've still got it. It's not going anywhere. But that way it frees up more space on your server rack.
Right. It's not really meant to be like a permanent solution. It's a flexibility solution.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I've looked at them hundreds of times. I've always, like, man, that would be really useful to have. And every time I run into a problem, it's like, man, I wish I would have bought me a docking station.
I mean, let's see. So this one right here, I can't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I'm pretty sure it was only like $38.
Oh yeah, they're not really expensive at all.
Yeah, they're not even in like a lot of the stuff we've been talking about in the $100 price range. They're $30-$40 if you need a quick, fast way to store some extra information on a hard drive that you don't have hooked up or something, or move information from one drive to the other. Bam, right there. It's the easiest thing. To me, honestly, it already paid for itself to me, because I had a lot of family photos on that 500 gig, family videos and stuff like that. And I was like, holy crap, what am I going to do? I'll just buy an external docking station and take that old, 500 gig out of there, plug it in there, boom, it's good to go. So
Right.
It definitely is a pretty cool solution, quick solution.
Right, yeah, because just because your Windows, boot tables or anything like that corrupted, the data's still there, and
Absolutely.
a lot of the times you can still see it. Even if it won't actually boot into Windows, you can still get in there and still find a bunch of files pretty easily. So yeah, that's a great.
As a matter of fact, I was able to find every single file that had been written to that old 500 gigabyte except for Windows, because come to find out, all of Windows files got erased.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I had like no Windows files except for like my Windows users and preferences and stuff like that.
Oh wow, yeah. That's a pretty hardcore crash.
Oh, it was, man. It was. That's one of the worst things due to a power unplug I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough.
So
awesome. Well, that's a pretty great little piece, Mike.
So anyway, that's what I've got today. With this stuff, it's geared towards a single thing that you're doing, so there's really not a lot of cons to it. Like I said, the only thing I could really find as a con is you can't really use it for a backup storage solution as far as keeping it plugged in to, say, like a server rack or something.
Right.
And actively write data back and forth. It's not meant for that. But as a matter of fact, there's a cool little feature on there that's called a clone, which means you can leave one hard drive plugged into it or SSD plugged into it actively, and you can set it up on a loop to where, let's say you don't have another hard drive installed in your system, but you want to actively back up your system, your hard drive. It will actually set itself up on a loop where, like, once every day it backs up an image of your hard drive.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's called clone mode. It's pretty sweet. I wish I would have had that before that happened.
Yeah, that would have been pretty nifty for that.
Yep.
So, all right, well, great. So, I guess that's all I got today, Mike.
Well, that's all I got. Little short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us today. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. And we'll hopefully see y'all next week.
Peace.
Take it easy.